if you're playing at the platinum/diamond level, what are some characters that you should focus on playing if you want to rank up as quickly as possible in Hero League?
I would say play what you're good at that also fits into the meta.
Well, like what?
Like if you're a tank, Garrosh, an ETC, Diablo. If you're an assassin, Vala, KT, Greymane, Zul'jin might be worth learning now.
Be careful when you pick Zul'jin. You definitely want a solid front line.
For healers, Morales, Lucio, Rhaegar.
I prefer more individual carry characters, someone like Sonya, where you can actually do basically everything and kind of just carry a game by yourself. Because with Sonya, you can creep, you can be a very strong solo laner, you can have team fights well, you can duel well. To me, like she's like the ultimate carry hero for the people who are in, say, Platinum.
Should you just focus on 3 to 5 characters? Or should you go in with the mentality of like, I have to know I'm going to be proficient at 2 supports, 2 tanks, 2 assassins, and just go with that and just roll with like a roster pool of like 6 to 8 characters and that's it?
Well, so I'll tell you what I do. So like I main tank, so I can play basically every tank in the game except for Chen, ironically. But I can play most supports in the game and like only 3 or so assassins. I am somewhat flexible, but I get less and less flexible as we leave my comfortable pits. Because I'm very comfortable in a certain role, but I can play other roles if I absolutely have to. That's my take. This way, I can be somewhat useful no matter where I am in the draft.
All right. So, Bacon, what do you think about what Old Backpack said?
Sorry, can you repeat what you just said?
That's very, very bionicle there, Bacon.
So Scott, what do you think of what Old Backpack said?
You bitch!
That goes back to what I said earlier about play what you're good at that is decent in the meta. I mean, ultimately, you got to find out what works for you. Like last season, I talked about my Murden carry build, where that build literally carried me out of lower level diamond into the mid levels, where that build was way less effective past like diamond 2 and up, especially when the didn't have the right team comps. It was a lot harder to win with them. But in this season, I went with the Brightwing carry build, or I carried with them, but the Brightwing Z build,
the carry build.
And if something works for you, if your ultimate goal is to move up, I mean, just go with what works. But at the same time, if you do move up, and it's because you're really good with that hero. Once you start playing other heroes, you're gonna start probably losing and dropping down again, unless you improve your game.
I would say 6 to 8 is like the magic number of heroes, like everyone has been saying. Like there are a lot of one-trick ponies out there, and they exist a lot, especially in the high diamond areas, because those are the players who have, mastered the hero enough to actually get up there, but can't actually make that jump towards masters because of holes in their play, because they kind of lock themselves into that corner. But you can definitely have a couple, like 3 or 4 heroes in your pocket, and try to spam like 2 or 3 heroes that you've mastered. And I'd say that is probably the best way to go.
For the lower levels, to answer Loxley's question, there are different metas for the lower levels. The meta for bronze is completely different for gold, for example, and same thing applies to platinum and diamond as well, and master. If you're in either bronze or silver, I recommend just taking self-sustaining characters that you can do whatever it is you want. Try to go for specialists. Try to master Zagara, Azmodan, or Gazlo. Or even Zul, actually, too. So just go with characters that put a ton of lane pressure and win that way.
That is legit. And that's why Rhaegar is so good in the lower levels. there have been multiple support GMs who climbed, did that bronze to GM challenge, and they basically spammed the Rhaegar the entire way from bronze to gold because they can close out kills, they have decent damage. They're one of the few supports that can camp by themselves and cause split pusher. That is very valid.
Yeah, so I recommend learning those players. And actually, I think it was either Tuesday or Wednesday, Nubkex did the first game in his stream, he actually played Zagara, like a really, really effective Zagara. And if you want to learn how to play Zagara, I recommend watching that particular video. But I'd recommend playing Rhaegar. And also Lucio is really good at the lower levels too, because there's no there's no single target damage. It's like usually in team fights, it's all spread out. So if you have a healer that can heal everyone at the same time, then he's way more effective that way. But what I'd recommend doing is muting all chat, playing a self-sustaining hero where you can push lanes, and then you can use that to get out of. If you're actually proficient at not getting ganked, then you can actually get all the way up to probably silver 1 or 2. If you just put a lot of lane pressure and know where to go on the map, you can just do that by yourself.
If I had to recommend somebody, it'd be Zagara. And just go Nidus and just keep rotating top and bottom. And, when an objective spawns and everybody's fighting over that, try and go elsewhere and push, but also have a Nidus near the objective that you pop up. So if somebody comes to stop you, you can pop up and help your team at the objective.
Asmodan too is if you
you have to be careful a little bit with Asmodan, I'd say, because he requires a lot of team help to get the most out of him, because he requires time to build up his stacks with his Q. Even if you go the one that does player damage based on player hits, so that still takes time. His split push ability with his minion, with his trade ability, that also takes time, and it can be countered if...
It won't be countered in silver.
If you're split pushing with Asmodan, you're going laser build, aren't you?
Nope. No, he has a split push build, which is... I can go over that later if you want.
Yeah, well, yeah, you can look it up. I'm going to keep talking. So if you want to learn tanks, obviously, Garrosh is good, but he's getting banned all the time now. But learn Varian. Also learn Leoric. Because even if you do die, he comes back into the game faster. So you have that as well.
Yeah, those aren't really...
Garrosh.
They're more bruisers. Well,
oh, no. Garrosh is out of control right now.
Yeah, but Varian and Leoric. Leoric's a bruiser. Varian, for his tank build's kind of out of the meta. He's not that strong right now.
Yeah. And another thing is that going back to Lucio, lower levels don't know when to push to end the game. So a lot of times, very likely you'll have games go past level 16. And that's when Lucio gets really good with his heals. So then when you're in team fights, Lucio's going to be OP in the late game, and you can actually use that to your advantage.
And go bonus track at level 20. People don't know the double heal trick.
Seriously?
I had to explain it to a platinum player the other day, but he also never played Lucio. So get Rejuvenancy at level 16, get bonus track at level 20, which resets your amp it up cast when you press crossfade, which is changing your song. So what you do is start off as healing, press amp it up, and when the amp it up has half a second, go
press W,
and then press W again, and then you double dip on healing. And that is how you get level 20 games where you, as Lucio, do 150,000, 180,000 healing.
So
and don't stack it. Use amp it up and bonus track first. And when you believe that you cannot save your teammates' damage by healing it up, then use sound barrier. Then that way you buy time for your amp it up to come up again. A lot of Lucios I see, they use both at the same time and they waste healing because you're healing a full health target that's being, that's not taking damage.
Again, also, I almost forgot. I wanted to give a shout out again to Nupkex because we actually stole this idea from him. So he actually did a video on this a week or two ago, maybe more now at this point. But again, I guess at the lower level, you want lane pushers, you want characters that you can do your own thing. That's not really team dependent. Yeah,
I would say for my personal heroes, it's learn Garrosh, learn Nazebo, healer, learn Uther, Rhaegar, and Anna now. Anna actually has a pretty good win rate. It's a number 1 support apparently in the Masters area. Learn Lucio. Learn Morales as a last pick. Learn Brightwing.
Again, you have to know.
Learn Tyrande.
In Tyrande, yep. All the supports are good right now.
Yeah, you have to be aware of what the meta is. So if you listen to us, we'll tell you what the meta is going to be after each patch. But you have to be aware of, like, if someone gets nerfed pretty bad, then you have to, like, move off of that character sometimes, unless you're, like, really good. So for example, Zarya, right? She could be really good in the right hands, but, you know, most players are not really good with her, which is why she's not that good anymore. If you're really good with Zarya, then go ahead. That can be one of your characters too.